Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Poetically Christian Gamer, and I thank you so much for being with me, clicking on the video, and welcome to another edition of Should Christians Play, the series where we go between the ratings of the ESRB to answer the questions, should a Christian play, and is this game accessible for me? Hi guys, my name is Derek. I'm a legally blind gamer and preacher, and today we're going to be reviewing UFC 5 EA Sports. It's in the game. But before we get to that, guys, you know how we do. We review these games on two fronts: for the deaf and hard of hearing, for the visually impaired, and for the motor disabled, a physical review. And then we go to the other side of things and we see, is the game morally accessible for a Christian to play based on the content in the game, guys? If you like this kind of thing, Christian accessibility reviews, Let's Plays of modern and retro games that we do, and Bible sermons, all things for faith and fun, God and gaming, you can subscribe to the YouTube channel on Poetically Christian Gamer along with hitting the bell icon, and that'll alert you and put our videos into your home feed so you won't miss anything that we do, and it helps us so much to further the kingdom and get godly content out there for others, guys. And of course, always liking, sharing, commenting on the videos. It helps us so much with the algorithm. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers, guys. Currently, we're almost to 700, so we can't do it without you, and love each and every one we get. We don't just say that. It's not something cheesy that we say. We truly mean it. All right, guys. If you're watching on Poetically Christian Gamer Twitch as well, you can hit the follow button. It's free as well, and you can join me when I'm live in those Let's Plays, as we usually do them on Monday, Wednesday, or Friday evenings. I'd love to have you in there in the chat with me. All right, with all that being said, let's review UFC 5. Is this game physically accessible? Let's jump right in with the low vision and blind, as that's the spectrum I come at things from. Well, even though we got a modern UFC game here, we have virtually very little as it goes for accessibility for someone low vision or blind. We have no menu narration, and menu memorization is fairly difficult because we have several settings options. We have multiple options on our first menu here. Then when you finally do get to the settings, there's right and left bumpers. I'm playing on an Xbox. Be an L1, R1 on your PlayStation. There is multiple menus to navigate through, different things you have to set. So it's definitely going to require some sighted assistance to get through it. But what we do have is we do have a nice dark background, light writing with decent contrasts. You do have an accessibility menu, if you can call it that, which basically allows you to adjust the brightness, the contrast, turn vibration on or off, and basically turn subtitles on or off. That is just about it, guys. A few color blindness settings. It is the most basic as you can get for accessibility menu. Camera flashes on or off. That is literally about it. So nothing much here to help us as far as low vision or blind. But what we do have here is we have the ability to turn what they call simple controls on. Now what this does is this basically maps everything to your face buttons and has all your controls simplified and easy to use. And you can also turn different game styles on, so you can choose what I like is knockout mode, and this forces both fighters to have to stand up and just bang it out until somebody gets knocked out. Makes it a lot easier. You don't have to worry about all that submission stuff on the ground or the ground and pound. If you want to do those things, the simplified controls help you with those as well. But it is approachable once you get into the game. As I said, you're just going to need some sighted assistance to get through the settings and all these menus and things to get it set up the way that you want it to. But once you're into the game, the simplified controls, the fact that it's just a fighting game, you know, two guys on one plane, makes it easier for a blind person or a low vision, as it always does. Fighting games lend themselves very well to someone like that, like us, like me. So, you know, that helps as well. So with those simplified controls, the ability to turn that knockout mode on, and once you get things set up, you can just kind of get in and go. There is no way of knowing, with there being no menu narration. You don't know what fighter you're selecting or anything like that, but you can just kind of go and get into a fight, and it is playable, approachable. So I can't give the game an F, as we do have those simple controls that help the low vision blind, but I can't give it any. And you got the contrasted menus and the dark background with the light writing, so I can't give it a complete F, but this is about the bare minimum, guys, in a modern accessibility settings menu I've ever seen on a game, especially when EA Sports is the same company that makes the Madden football games, which have a ton more than this. So, it's kind of disappointing. But it is what it is, and that's what we got. So I'm going to give the game a D for low vision and blind. Now, somebody that is deaf and hard of hearing, we do have, as I said, those subtitles, but that's literally it. There's no opacity. You can't adjust the size of the subtitles. You can't have any speaker name, anything like that. It is what it is. It's bare minimum again. I'd have to give it a C, nothing more. I mean, it gets the job done, but nothing special. And for the motor disabled, with those simple controls, that does help as well. You don't have to do the holds to do the power punches and things like that. It's just simple taps. Things like that, that does help, makes it so much easier and simplified for someone motor disabled, as holding buttons down is very hard and difficult. So in that aspect, I would have to we don't have a lot of button remapping in this, so I'm going to split the difference and say a B. It's worth a solid B as far as the motor disabled goes. Also forgot to mention, for the low vision blind, we do have commentators on this game. And every time you have a commentary on a game, it kind of lends itself to being kind of a default auto descript to let the blind users know what's going on in the match or low vision. So we have that, and it helps. So D for low vision and blind, C for the deaf and hard of hearing, and a B for the motor disabled. Now, what about this game morally? How morally accessible is UFC 5 for a Christian to play? Well, this is the first UFC game we've ever had that has a M for mature rating. With that M for mature rating, you get all the stuff that you used to get when UFC games were rated T for teen. The typical fighting violence, the blood where you cut somebody open from fighting, things like that. A little bit of sexual content from the ring girls that come in and out, showing what round you're in. What gets added, however, being the M for mature rating, is we bring along the language with it. Now that we got the M for mature rating, that allows us in this game to have all the things you don't want to have for a Christian that goes along with it, an M rating. So you get these songs, these licensed songs now on this game that are all taking the Lord's name in vain, that are swearing, profanity. You do have the ability, however, to turn those off so you don't have to hear those. But they are in the game, and it is avoidable, but they are there. You also, like I said, with that, you get the language in the career mode, as now there's no restrictions on, what they can say, as there used to be in a T-rated game. So there's that as well. You do have the sexual content from the ring girls, and of course from the shirtless men, being that it's a UFC game, and the women that are fighting on this as well. They're in sports attire, athletic attire, the ladies in sports bras and shorts, the men in shorts and boxing gloves or UFC gloves. So you got shirtless men and very, athletically attired ladies. So if that's a lust or a temptation for somebody, it is in the game. You can avoid that somewhat if you, coming from whatever perspective you're coming from, if you don't want to see the ladies in the game, just fight as the men, and vice versa. If you don't want to see the men in the game, you just fight as the ladies. But you do see them in these character select screens here, as it shows them from like their stomach up. So that is unavoidable. And of course the ring girls coming in and out between the rounds. That is avoidable. You can hold your A or X button on PlayStation down, and you can skip right to the beginning of the fight and skip those rounds and avoid things. So it is there, it is avoidable, but it is a detractor. The replays in this game are skippable as well, and they are very, pretty visceral when it shows your guy knocking somebody out. There is some blood in this game when the guy gets cut open or the lady in the fights, being a boxing, martial arts game. However, you do have the ability in the settings to turn the cut resistance to 100%. That way it makes your fighter resistant to getting busted open. It makes it a lot less frequent. So that is somewhat avoidable in the game. So with the options we have, there are some things present in the game, but there are ways of, avoiding it. So overall, I'm going to split the difference and say that this game is somewhat approachable. I wouldn't recommend playing the career mode, but if you're just playing some fights, some fight now, play now, it is approachable for a Christian. There's a few troublesome things. Most are avoidable. So I'm going to split the difference and say this game gets a C for Christian accessibility, moral accessibility. If we didn't have the ability to turn those songs off, if we didn't have the ability to, avoid some of these things with some of the settings, it would not get that high of a rating. But the fact that we can avoid the career, that you can avoid certain things, it does lend itself to be approachable. All right. So what's the game look like? C for moral Christian accessibility. Let's look and see what the game looks like in practice, guys. It's time. Guys, subscribers have asked me, what do these games look like in practice? So I'd like to show you so you can hear them, see them, feel them, and kind of know for yourself whether this game would be, something you'd want to play. I'll lay out so you can hear the commentary and see what it feels like. Pretty cool, guys. Like I said, those commentators kind of lend themselves to being an auto descript, so it helps for the low vision and blind. Coming out of the locker room. It's Goldberg. Pretty cool, guys. Gonna have a knockout mode here. Stand up.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening. It's time! 5 rounds for the undisputed UFC welterweight championship of the world. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, presenting the challenger, Shavkat Nomad Rahmanov. And now he's the champion, fighting champion of the world. Below, remember the name, Muhammad.
All right, guys, here we go. Ooh, landed a kick, guys. Body shot. Ooh. Oh, no. Ooh. Ooh, we took one, too. Oh! I like to turn the resistance to the stuff off, you know. Or on, I mean, the cut resistance. That way you don't have to worry about all the blood and stuff. Makes it nice. You can just kind of have a fighting game here. A boxing game. You can feel the kicks and punches, I can tell you that. Oh. Oh! Oh. You got your stamina, but you can turn that off. But it makes it more realistic, you know, where you can only throw so many punches and kicks, or you get wore out. Oh! He took a body shot. Oh! We hit each other. Oh, guys! Oh, that was crazy. Oh! Oh! Oh, man! Oh, he's done. It's over. Holy smokes is right. Oh, my goodness. Oh, that was crazy. I'll show you guys the replay. They are kind of visceral, but you can skip these. But I want to show you so you guys know what you're in for. Oh, man. How do people ever compete in that sport? That's awful. Oh, who says I want to do this for a living? You have to be one tough individual. Tougher than me.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Herb Deans called a stop to this contest at 3 minutes, 23 seconds of the very first round, declaring the winner by knockout and still the undisputed UFC welterweight champion of the world, Bilal, remember the name, Muhammad.
That's pretty cool, guys. So I hope this review has helped you. If it has, guys, remember to hit the subscribe button on Poetically Christian Gamer on YouTube, along with the bell icon. That'll alert you the next time we make any of these videos, these reviews, our Let's Plays of modern and retro games, and our Bible sermons. All things faith and fun, God and gaming. Always, guys, liking, sharing, commenting on the YouTube videos as well helps us with the algorithm, helps us to overcome all those things and get to our journey of furthering the kingdom for God, guys, getting safe content out to others, and these reviews so they'll know, other Christians will know, and other people will know about physical accessibility and help them as well, guys. And if you're watching on Poetically Christian Gamer Twitch, hit the follow button, and you can join me when I do my Let's Plays live on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday evenings, guys, as much as possible. All right, guys, I thank you so much. I hope this has helped. For the physical accessibility, guys, we have very little here for the low vision and blind other than contrasted menus those ease of simple controls, guys, and the fact just it being a fighting game lends itself as well as having commentary on the game, which lends itself to be like auto descript by default. Easy for me to say. And for the deaf and hard of hearing, guys, we have the subtitles, and that's it. Gets the job done. Basic stuff. I would give it overall a C. For low vision and blind, I would give it a D, as there could be a lot more. And for the motor disabled, those simple controls, making it so easy to play, I would have to give the game an A. Finally, guys, for the Christian moral accessibility, there's a lot in this game. You got the blood, you got the violence as it being a martial arts game, although you can reduce the blood. You can skip the replays. It is still inherently violent, so if you have a problem with that, it is there. The sexual content can somewhat be avoided, as we have shirtless men and athletically dressed ladies, but you could play as the opposite sex, whatever, to avoid the temptation, the lust that you may have, but they are still there, and they are still dressed, appropriately for an athletic event such as this, but in a way that may draw some temptation. And that's in your own hands if it is. It's in the game, guys, and it's only limited, avoidable by playing as the opposite sex, and that way you can avoid that temptation. So it is avoidable. But it's in the game, and as I said, it's there. With the M rating, we got the licensed songs, which have a lot of profanity, taking the Lord's name in vain, but they are ability to turn them off. But we do, in the career mode, have, some language and things, so, but it is avoidable, just don't play it. So, there are some things there. Most are avoidable, so I'm going to split the difference and say C for Christian moral accessibility. Hope this has helped you guys. It's been another edition of Should Christians Play, the series where we go between the ratings of the ESRB to answer the questions, should a Christian play, and is this game physically accessible for me? I love you, God loves you, and until the next one, blessed wishes.